Using Play-Doh in special needs ministry can be very fun. It's inexpensive and it engages our kids and the volunteers. Hi, I'm Laura Teakin from All Y'all Need, and I'm here to tell you 4 reasons why you should be using Play-Doh in your special needs ministry. The first reason to use Play-Doh in special needs ministry is that Play-Doh is just fun. When you bring out the Play-Doh, the kids are going to love it. The teen and adult volunteers are going to love it. Everybody's going to want to play with the Play-Doh. And that is the perfect opportunity for teen and adult volunteers to work with kids and build relationships. It's a fun activity. They can talk during the activity and they can show what God's love is during the activity. The second reason to use Play-Doh in special needs ministry is that Play-Doh is readily available and it's pretty inexpensive. I can go to my nearby Walmart and buy a couple of cans of Play-Doh for 50 cents each. I've spent a lot more on lessons than 50 cents per can in a couple of dollars. One tip that I do have for you is to make sure that you buy the name brand of Play-Doh. I've bought the off brands. They're either too sticky or they get hard too quickly or the colors bleed onto carpet and clothes, and you want to avoid that. The third reason is that Play-Doh can be calming. We've all had those mornings when every single kid on your enrollment shows up, plus a few more. And it's the same day that all the volunteers call in sick. What are you going to do with all of these kids? Or sometimes there's a drastic change in the weather or daylight savings times happens. Whatever happens, there are those days when just everybody is off. Play-Doh is a great activity to do when you dim the lights and roll it out. It provides some sensory pressure and it can be a very calming activity for both kids and volunteers. The fourth reason to use Play-Doh is that Play-Doh can be shaped into so many things. And while it's being shaped into something, then we can connect that back into the Bible story. We can roll out snakes for the Garden of Eden, and then we can curve that snake to make a staff for Moses. And it's easy for volunteers to say, oh, look, here's a snake that was in the Garden of Eden. Or just talk about Moses' staff and the power that God gave him. Remember, our kids need 40 to 75 or even more meaningful repetitions to truly understand what we're telling them. So using the Play-Doh gives us a chance in an interactive way to repeat those concepts, and it's easy for volunteers, it's no prep, and it gets those connections in with kids. Now, you can make your own shapes. You can pre-plan some shapes. You can even use cookie cutters and Play-Doh. Kids love that. I've seen volunteers get very creative with Play-Doh. I've seen volunteers spread out the yellow Play-Doh and put up yellow stalks for the story of Ruth, and kids get to go glean the wheat. I've seen teen volunteers make flowers out of Play-Doh that can stand up, and kids are fascinated by that. And to tell the truth, I'm a little fascinated by that too. I'm much better at 2D shapes. Now, if you want to save some time, or if you have trouble coming up with Play-Doh shapes for each lesson, I do have some Play-Doh mats. It goes along with 35 Bible stories. Each Play-Doh mat has shapes that relate to the story and that are easily made with volunteers and kids. Each mat also has a Bible verse, and it comes with a volunteer guide so that volunteers can repeat the story and sequence the story with the kids, plus extend with some would you rather questions like, in the Garden of Eden, would you rather see a snake or would you rather see a bird? I would definitely rather see a bird. And here's a bonus tip. If you're working in Play-Doh with Play-Doh in special needs ministry, and it doesn't matter whether it's children's ministry, special needs ministry, the nursery, if you've got kids, just be prepared for the colors to be mixed. You may not like mixed colors. You may want everything in its own container. I am here to tell you the colors are going to get squished together, they're going to get mixed, and that's just something as adults that we have to get over with. Now, if you're thinking you can use that as a science experiment, like mixing the red with the blue to get purple, When you mix Play-Doh, it usually comes out in some variation of brown. It might be a light brown, it might be a dark brown. So I usually just divide that up into the cans, use it for a while, and then after its use is over, then I replace it with more colors. To recap, the four reasons why you should be using Play-Doh in special needs ministry are: first of all, it's fun for everyone. Secondly, Play-Doh is available most places and it's relatively inexpensive. The third reason is if you have a wild day, Play-Doh can be a good calming activity. And the fourth reason is it is great for extending Bible lessons and getting in repetitions that our kids desperately need to hear in order to understand what God is telling us. Thanks for watching. If you're interested in the Play-Doh mats, I'll put a link in the comments. And if you want more ideas for special needs ministry, be sure to click below to subscribe because I'll have more ways to adapt lessons coming up soon.